by charter, I believe we have until May 15th. I know someone said May 1st, but I think by charter we have until May 15th to approve or reject it. In fact, I think that some members of the council will even rise to claim that this is the best budget that has ever been presented in the 300-year history of our city. But it's not the best budget. It has shortcomings, it has waste, and it has duplication. And especially when it concerns the legislative body, the Common Council, it is underfunded. $32,872 isn't adequate to serve the public or the 21 members who are elected to the council. Do you want to know what your council is doing? Do you want to know when the next constituents meeting is? Do you want to know how to reach your council member? Well, you can call the Common Council office at 797-4514, and someone will assist you 10.5 hours a week. Now, if you miss that vote, you can actually go online to the city website and try to find the information that you need. Now, if you don't have any internet access and you're a member of the public, you can dial up 311, which is our new call center, and they will be happy to refer you to the closed Common Council office to seek that information. But very seriously, a city budget shows what our priorities are, and I think it's obvious in this budget that the legislative body, the Common Council itself, for the city of Danbury is not a priority. It isn't. We're giving the Ives Center for the Performing Arts $50,000 in transition funding to start their new season, $50,000. We're paying $46,000 to be members of CCM, the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. We're giving Dan Bartram a $146,000 tax break for his new dormitory at 30 Crosby Street. And yet, when in the Government One Ad Hoc Committee, Councilman Saudi proposed making that part-time position full-time, it was voted down 3-2. What this says, really very loud and clear, is that when you have a strong mayor to set policy and a very well-run call center for the public, well, the Common Council just really isn't important at all. In fact, it's superfluous. And maybe what we need to do is revisit our city charter and eliminate it altogether. I'm also disappointed in the mayor's failure to keep his kind of State of the City commitment about public access broadcasting. Now, I know, Your Honor, you promised that we would have public access broadcasting of council meetings and land use meetings, I believe. You said by March, and it's April. And we're adopting our city budget, and Danbury's 8 hours of broadcasting on the government access channel 24 aren't being used. And you may be secretly hard at work on this issue, but we've had no ad hoc committee reports from Mr. Cavo, who I believe is the chair of that ad hoc committee. I'm disappointed again this year in the grant agency review process. 2 years ago, Vinnie Nolan said we had to take the politics out of these decisions, and we haven't. This year, the funding for the Hispanic Center was allocated to the Wheels program and to TBICO. We're using these grants like candy in a candy dish to reward or punish social service agencies, and that's wrong. We ought to fund agencies based on how important the services they provide are to Danbury residents. And I think this year in particular, the AIDS Project of Greater Danbury was done a great disservice. Inadvertently, Mr. Riley told them that their funding request for $14,000 would be funded through the Interfaith AIDS Ministry, and it won't be. Their program was zero budgeted. And the mayor explained at the same council meeting that we couldn't fund any new programs, and we're funding two. We're funding the Boughton Street Y and the Dream Homes Community Center. So the grant agency review process isn't fair and it isn't equitable. And it ends up being the mayor's personal philanthropy put into the city budget, and I don't think that's right. The other area that I looked for in the budget and couldn't find was a wonderful $250 energy tax credit for the elderly. Democrats requested an ad hoc committee to expand tax relief for the elderly in May of 2006. So this is an issue that our caucus really supports. Now, I know the mayor said that this tax credit would apply to households of up to $58,000 in annual income, and that's very generous. So if everyone who is currently in the circuit breaker or the fees program applied for this program, we'd be spending $183,000. And that's much bigger than a breadbasket. And it wasn't in the budget address on March 6th, but it's not in our budget. The tax collector couldn't find it, and the assessor couldn't find it. I'm afraid it's vanished, so I hope that the mayor in his comments will clarify on that point. And finally, I'd like to close with kind of a Passover remembrance that I've kind of adapted, because this city has had such a long history of tolerance and inclusion. And it goes like this. First they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the day laborers, and I did not speak out because I was not a day laborer. Then they came for the Hispanic Center funding, and I didn't speak out because I was not Hispanic. Then they underfunded the school budget by $1 million, and I did not speak out because I do not have any school-age children. And then they took the welfare department apart. And I did not speak out because I am not on welfare. And then they came and told me that this was a good budget. And I said no. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Amen, 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 Preacher Tabasak. Wow. Man, that is fiery. Well, congratulations. I understand you have been like this since day one.
For a long time.
I would love to be able to have a chat with your mother to see what kind of child you were when you were a kid. Wow, the budget. Miss Selena, what can you say about the budget? You just heard what Mrs. Tabasak said.
It's true. There is a lot of organizations that were not funded this year, or the funding was cut, which is not a good thing because they are major supporters in our city. But also a major concern I have is the fact that the budget includes money that we don't know if we're going to receive. And another thing which I'd like to state is the budget is the mayor's budget, not the Director of Finance budget. So the mayor should know what the budget line items are and not need the Director of Finance present to be able to review the budget. And it should have gone forward the way it needed to go forward to give people enough time to actually sit down and investigate what was going on and review the dollar figures in that budget. But I do have a problem with when the legislature does not approve an increase in our state income taxes, where are we getting the money to fund the remainder?
Okay, we have two calls. I'm going to take it. Caller, you're in the air. Caller, you're in the air. Okay. No phone calls. Okay. Okay. Wait, before
Okay.
we're talking about the grant agencies. One of the questions here is
Ivan, there's one thing we have to kind of back up a little.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we were doing the budget a month early, and we were doing that because our city finance director was leaving for another position.
Okay.
And I have to emphasize that. It was a very strange budget process. There were 6 ad hoc committee meetings, which the finance director attended. We didn't have any department heads there. And I want to give you a for instance. We have an information technology budget. And I wanted to ask the director, 10 years ago you had a staff of 8. Mm-hmm. This budget shows a staff of 4. Do you have the kind of staff that you need to provide the technology that the city's using now? Mm-hmm. But the department heads were told not to come. It was the finance director presenting the budget, council members asking questions. It was a sham. This budget went through at ramming speed. He wanted to get it done. It's done a month early.
Okay. All right.
We don't have to adopt it till May 15th.
Let me stop you because we heard
Okay.
8 minutes of you talking already. So let me go to the calls, okay? Caller, you're in the air. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Lane. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. First of all, Lynn Tabersack, I just wanted you to know the Wheels program was an excellent place to put the money if it helps seniors and people in Danbury. It's not just for seniors. Get rides to doctor's appointments and that sort of thing. I'm sorry about the Hispanic Center, but I was told they could come back in July and that they would find some money for them as well. I don't want to deviate from the budget because I know that's what you're on at the moment, but I wanted to ask Mayor Araquez, ex-Mayor Araquez, excuse me. When you were in, you had a lot of plans, I'm sure, for transportation, and I know you did a good job with Balmforth and Maple Street. What other streets did you have any plans to change any other streets to try to help move traffic through the city of Danbury? I'm sure there was like a 10-year plan, and you were thinking in advance. And is there any way that you could move traffic more easily now? Or what you were thinking of, even though you're no longer in office? Could you help us in the city of Danbury with some of those thoughts?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Lynn. Indeed, I believe the same kind of initiative that actually began during Mayor Dyer's tenure through the late 70s until 1987, included the planning, and I served as the chair of an advocacy group that was working to inform and educate the general public about this particular bond proposal that would fund those kinds of improvements. Now, it's controversial whenever you choose to take a roadway that's 2 lanes, for example, and make it 1 lane, but we need to look at the example of planning that goes into, other metropolitan areas, other cities of varying sizes, whether they're smaller than Danbury or whether they're larger. And many of them have a grid system, and what the intent was here was to be able to take an overlay of the city and find how we could try to alleviate traffic and move traffic more smoothly through the center area of the city, heading toward the northern area of the city. I think what happened with Maple Avenue and Balmforth Avenue, what happened to East Haystown Avenue, and certainly the kind of improvements that were made through that road bond improvement project helped facilitate traffic. And you can just take a look at Balmforth and Maple today, travel those routes, and the bottom line is you'll never find any queuing, any significant backup on either of those roadways. The same kind of thing needs to happen. The same kind of study needs to occur today that would identify those streets within the center area of our city where the same kind of improvements can be made to be able to improve traffic flow and safety, both vehicular and pedestrian. And that did effectively work then. I do believe that there's going to be some painful decisions that need to be made in order to be able to improve traffic conditions within the city of Danbury, in particular within the center area. When I say the center area, I'm not just talking about the downtown, but the general highly dense and more concentrated area of the center area of our city, leading out to the various points heading north, south, east, and west. And so there are opportunities to do so. There may be some pain, some condemnation, some acquisition of properties that may be necessary in order to make those kinds of improvements. But without that will, without that collective will as a community to be able to alleviate the problems that we're facing today, given the fact that the population has grown because of the economic opportunity and the quality of life that we do present and people have come to enjoy here in the city of Danbury, we're not going to be able to improve our conditions. So yes, there are other examples where I think improvements like that need to occur and can occur and will indeed work in the long term to be able to alleviate a lot of the traffic congestion.
Thank you. I'm going to take this call. Caller, you're in the air.
Ivan?
Yes.
This is Jeannie Knapp.
Hey, Miss Knapp.
Hi. I just want to wish you a very, very happy Easter, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
And come around here. We miss you.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, well, okay, I will.
Okay.
I was there today, but anyway, go ahead. What is the question?
I just wanted to wish you all of you a happy Easter.
Thank you, and thank you for watching, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. That is nice. That is nice.
Very nice.
Quick thing. One of the things that we can do
to somehow help to minimize the traffic flow in Danbury is we need to find a way to go after the out-of-state license plates. Because you get people who actually in Danbury being here for years and they still driving with Massachusetts or New York license plates. And we need to go after these people because these are the people that are congesting our cities. And also,
How can you tell them from the people who are legitimately here, from New Jersey and New York and
but guess what?
Pennsylvania?
But guess what?
It's a free country.
Yes. Also, they are also
You're starting to
cheating
sound
us.
like Mark
No. They're also cheating us out of that tax, that fee that we charge them right here in Danbury. Because if you've been here for, what is it? It's supposed to be after 3 months or something like that.
Within 30 days, you're
Yeah,
actually
within 30
supposed to
days.
change your driver's license and
Right,
register.
and we know it is a problem. Now, how do we do it without profiling? Well, that is something that we have to figure out. But once they stopped and they found out that they've been living here, okay, for a certain amount of time, they should be fine.
Could we ask Gene, do we want people to fly through downtown and not stop?
No, in fact, let me just add that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me just add that we got criticized when we put the median back in the middle of Main Street.
Right.
We did that to be able to ensure pedestrian safety and pedestrian flow, but meanwhile to be able to ensure that there were 2 lanes heading both north and south for vehicular traffic. That would be able to flow because, again, it's a comprehensive plan. You need synchronization of traffic lights. You need traffic improvements. You need intersection improvements. It's a comprehensive approach. You can't just get to address the traffic problem by rounding up people who may have registered vehicles from out of state, no differently than the United States of America can round up 12 million people who are here not properly documented and send them back home. It's just impossible to do.
We're going to get your comment, but I want to make sure that I get the public to speak. Right. But, that's, you can go ahead and, give us a plan.
131.
Okay. Caller, you're in the air.
Hey, how are you gang doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Hey, listen, Mrs. Brontes, I want to give you some good advice. I am a independent, a registered independent, and if you ask independents or the unaffiliated voters, which have a huge block here in Danbury, there are a lot of us. If you ask us what our needs are and fulfill our needs, if you get into office, I think you're going to score a lot of points on Election Day. And 2 other things. I spoke to Jimmy Dwyer, the last mayor election, and he said he'd like to cut down on the illegals in the city of Danbury. I think you ought to go for it using the police because it's a quality of life issue. One other thing, don't bar hop with Gino because you never know what kind of trouble you get into. Hey, take it easy, folks.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. You know what? Before we get out of
Can
this...
we respond to that at all?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
One of the things that always amazes me is that people who were born in Danbury, and I was born in Danbury, seem to think that children of immigrants don't need to eat, don't need an education, don't need to go to school. And I hate hearing that. We want, as a city, we want people to be able to have safe, decent housing.
Right.
We want people, if they're victims of crime, to be able to go to the police. I can't understand these appeals for the divisiveness, saying that only Americans born here
Well, you know what? Can I say
deserve to be
something right
treated
now?
with respect, deserve to
Okay, see, let me say this. This
Treated
is,
like
okay,
human
the way I feel is this, right? Comes November, this year is what, November 4th or 8th? This year is probably November, okay.
6th.
Comes November 6th, November, okay? Who is going to vote? That's basically, who is going to vote? We need to address the issues that the people who are actually going to vote, okay, care about. That's basically it.
Then is the issue, Mark Boughton promises to get rid of 8 million illegal immigrants, and Helena Abrantes agrees to get rid of 6 million illegal immigrants.
Okay.
They would both be the same.
Okay.
I mean, there's no difference.
Caller, you're in the air.
John.
John, who's John?
Oh, John from Danbury.
Oh, you John.
Yeah, I'm calling about you guys were talking earlier about traffic congestion
former Mayor Erica is talking about a grid plan, but I really think another approach that should be taken is sort of driver education. Every day when I go to work, I have to take Osborne, and I have to go from Hospital Ave to Main Street, and a lot of times I'm sitting behind, 10, 15 cars because someone's making a left turn onto a side street and we can't go around them. And, that's another approach that could be taken, and also overdevelopment. So I just want to throw in my 2 cents there. And I really like your show, and it's good to hear some local issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye.
Turning in different directions is a problem. Perfect example. Every day I go through Haystown. From Peyton-Aram Road, North Street, onto Haystown. And there is specifically a sign at the entrance of the shopping center that says, no left turn. And how many times I see people at that stopped in the road holding traffic back, which that intersection is the worst in the area.
What we need is police reinforcement. That's what we need.
Right.
More money in the police department, give them more manpower to reinforce the laws. But the phones are ringing, so I'm going to go ahead and take the calls, okay? Caller, you're in the air. Caller?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Caller? Go ahead, ask your questions. Come on. Okay, we'll come back to you, okay? We'll come back to you. Caller, you're in the air.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Could you turn your TV down, please? The volume. Turn the volume down.
This is me?
Yes. Turn your volume down.
I'm turning it down.
All righty.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, Lynn. It's Mark Pierce.
Hi, Mark.
My question and my comment is, you guys were talking about out-of-state drivers. How about the illegal drivers? Have some breakdown and some police enforcement on, I bet you're a quarter of the traffic in this town, and people that have unregistered vehicles, and they're not licensed, and there is no kind of enforcement of this of any type. And that would take a lot of cars off the road.
It sure would.
Exactly,
Some kind of enforcement in that, and something that really should be looked at. I know the police is undermanned now, but do something about that. Don't worry about the out-of-state guys. They can drive around town, but let's get the illegal guys that aren't registered and not insured and playing by the rules.
Thank you.
I wonder how they get to buy cars.
But you know what I think they should do?
But one thing is, the illegal drivers, it doesn't mean an illegal alien, immigrant.
Right.
What it does is anyone that's on the road that does not have a registration, that does not have a license. I've worked at the courthouse many, many years translating, and I see a lot of people that come in there that are residents, that have been born here, that not necessarily are from here, that may be someone, an undocumented member of the community, and they don't have a license. Everyone needs to be cracked down on.
What they should do is this: if a police stop you, you don't have a driver's license or insurance, they should go ahead and put you in jail. You do that, it will stop. Seriously, because if you hit someone, right? If you hit someone, right?
Are we building 7 jails?
No. John, listen, it's John who is
Let's put criminals in
John who
jail.
has helped us broadcasting the Common Council meetings, right? Got hit by someone who did not have insurance. That's it. Okay. Now the guy is disabled because of that. You see, because of that, this got to stop.
The state also is notified immediately if someone does not have insurance, and they are supposed to suspend someone's driver's license. But actually what happens is people don't even realize that their license are suspended, and when they get stopped,
but you don't have insurance.
They're in trouble.
You don't have insurance,
yes.
Okay? Caller, you're in the air. Caller?
Yes, hi. I would just like to ask a question to Ivan.
Yes.
You said that the only people that really matter are the people that will be voting in November.
Yes.
Yes,
That is correct.
I just don't understand why that is. They are the only people that matter when the majority of people in Danbury are not legal aliens. I hate that term aliens because illegal aliens don't have antennas coming out of their heads.
Okay, let me say something, okay? All right, thank you.
That's true.
Okay, let me answer this question, okay? This is the way I feel. This is the way I feel, okay? I'm very passionate about that, straight from the civil rights movement all the way here, okay?
Yes.
Right now, okay, you have a process, okay? Your voice must be heard, okay? And they give you that chance almost every year. There is an election, whether it is local, state, or federal, there is an election, okay?
Half of the people don't vote.
In order for you to be heard, in order for you to somehow throw these politicians out of office that are not actually serving you, okay? You need to go and vote, especially women. Women who feel that their issues are not being addressed, okay? Put somebody in there that can really represent you. If you look at the Common Council, okay, none of these people ever speak out. I mentioned before, in the Democratic side that actually speak out, and then the Republicans, they don't say nothing. All I'm saying is this: if you don't have the courage to get up and vote, you don't have a voice. If you don't have a voice, don't talk. Stay home. Thank you. Caller, you're in the air.
Hi, it's Gabrielle Eriquez. I just wanted to say, hi, Dad, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I got a quick question for you. Who is going to be running your campaign?
I have a few people running it, and we'll announce it shortly.
Okay, okay. Now, Mr. Eriquez, you are so popular. Your name alone speaks. Anyways.
Do you have a question?
Depends upon who you talk to.
Yeah, but my question is this, okay? Are you going to help her? Are you going to really get involved in this campaign? Because people just hear your name or see you. You can make such a great impact.
Yeah, I've made myself available as people have asked for me to assist them. And
like my son.
Absolutely. As Joe Tabersack asked for my assistance, I was glad to offer it. For those who I believe in, who I believe in their message, agree with their message. And again, it doesn't have to be 100% of the message that I agree with, but we have to make decisions, and we have to pick and choose.
You have someone.
Absolutely, I have.
Who was in your administration? You've been for 12 years.
Absolutely,
and you were probably her teacher.
This was
so basically, whatever the future is, it has to be based on the way you guys ran.
This was a member of our Common Council who was the legislative leader of our Common Council during my tenure, who went on and was elected citywide as city clerk, who served this community in a variety of volunteer capacities, not with any agenda, political agenda for certain, but those, for the reasons that were going to be of value to her, of value to her children, of value to her family, of value to the community at large. And that's something I embrace. It's something I applaud. It's the reason that Helena has my complete support and will have whatever assistance she asks of me during the course of this campaign leading through November and, frankly, beyond.
Well, I would like to see you knocking on doors with her.
I did ask Gene for his support, and he's been wonderful, and he's been tremendously helpful, and it's very important to me because during the time that I was on the council with Gene, I learned a lot. When you first go into a position, say as a city council member or any position, a cabinet of the mayor, it's a learning process. And the first few meetings, you're learning, you're being educated, you're understanding the process of government, which a lot of people don't understand. And I had the opportunity to serve on committees that were outstanding. Gene set up a committee to look into the diversity of the police department and the fire department, a task force. I was on that committee. I met some wonderful people. We came up with some great ideas. Also, he set up a committee to look into a skateboard park in Danbury, a recreational facility for our youngsters.
Oh, yes.
Due to the fact that we don't want them on top of our benches, or we don't want them in the middle of the roads. We want them in an area that is safe. We actually, the committee met several times. We came up with some great ideas and great proposals. It was adopted. It went to the bond. It was in the bond package, and it's never been acted upon.
Okay, let me say this. David, could you put my blog up, please, for a second? All the questions, what I would like to ask of you is this. People actually went on my blog and they posted questions for you, and this is a great, actually, dialogue with the public and with us. So what I would like is this. I know you probably were prepared to answer these questions. If you can, go on the blog and try to, answer some of these questions the best you can. And tell people, please go to the blog and you will answer
Yes, I will.
most of these questions. questions, which would be great.
This is an incredible tool. You know, I was in office for 22 years in the city of Danbury, and you know, the internet was evolving during the 90s, really. Right. But today, I mean, you look at what Howard Dean did, obviously, which started the whole fundraising aspect of national campaigns, which you see is just fermenting now through the 2008 presidential campaign on both sides of the aisle, but in particular on the Democratic side of the aisle, with contributors of $5 or more. And certainly the opportunity for people to be able to communicate, get information, communicate effectively with those who are seeking office, those who are office holders, is an incredible mechanism. So
it makes up for some of the deficiencies of the...
Absolutely.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. If you really want to know what's going on in the city, you can do two things. You can actually watch my blog. I mean, go to my site, because this show will be on the blog over the weekend. You can also go to Hat City blog.
Hat City blog. Al Robinson.
Hat as in H-A-T, okay? Hat City blog. Okay, Hat City blog. Yes, and then you will find out what is going on. If you can't find it in the news time, it definitely will be in the Hat City blog. And then you can also go to my site and then comments, etc. Now, this show will be re-aired again tomorrow at 12 noon, Friday at 12 noon to 1. And guys, this is it. This is the show. If you want to participate in the dialogue, if you want to know what's going on in Danbury, please watch the show. I know we have one call. Let me try to take it, and then we will end the show. Caller, you on the air. Please make it quick.
I'd just like to say that every single one of you sitting at the table are here because your ancestors came here illegally.
I'm sorry? Hello?
Every single one of you sitting at the table are here because one of your ancestors came here illegally and gave you the chance.
That's right.
To have the life that you're having right now.
Came here illegally? Well, my grandparents came here legally. I can tell you, all four of my grandparents immigrated from Italy.
Let me say this, okay? Everybody in this country came to this country illegally, okay? The first settlers in this country came here illegally. There wasn't no passport to be stamped anywhere when they first came here, and when all the Indians were killed for this land. Okay, see you next week. Listen, I love you, and come back next week. Next week, 9 o'clock, okay? 9 p.m. every Thursday. Bye-bye.